And it says we're live.
Yeah, lies. Okay, John is not here today, so you'll notice the background is a little special. As always, if you want to keep the heat going into Blanket Fort, donate. Also, King Harvest Coffee, tell them you heard about it here.
And away we go. Of course, the comment section's already well in hand or out of hand, as the case may be. Yeah. R.I.P. Harvey's already in the grounds. Yeah.
Grounds. Oh. So, 30 seconds of underwater drone footage has been released from the, I believe, Nord Stream 2. And my email and instant Facebook Messenger has lit the hell up. I'd like to go on record as saying that there's not nearly enough data yet.
No, there's not.
A 30-second clip of underwater pipe, what's left of an underwater pipeline really isn't enough data to go on. However, the clip we saw, I will note for the record that pipe is remarkably round.
And awfully clean.
Yes, remarkably round for something that was allegedly exposed to external explosion under incompressible water. Also, when
it's supposed to be in concrete too.
You notice that.
Yeah.
Also, it's not looking nearly as thick, the metal.
No.
It's not looking nearly as thick as was reported as coming out of the Russian. Also, when you detonate something close to seafloor or anywhere, it raises a bunch of dust or whatever the hell it is called on the, and that settles out. Slime. It settles out. I didn't notice any on the.
Nope.
But again, not really enough to do any data on. It's just very interesting.
Yeah, Rick, there's, which pipeline is it really? That's the question.
Yeah. Well,
hey, Freeman.
It's allegedly it's the Swedes.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah. In other news, rather interesting news, the Army has once again had to extend.
Shot itself in the foot.
It's your Army. Their temporary promotion boards, because they cannot get their people through the new mandated training in time.
The classes.
Yeah. Oh, most of it's online. And what we found interesting is the Army has apparently a top enlisted HR soldier.
Yeah. What the hell human resources has to do with killing people and breaking their stuff, I will never know.
I don't know. But what I found more interesting was there was also an article this morning about the National Guard being unable to keep up with training requirements because it was taking over 30% of people's time just to try to get through the mandated training.
So how much training is there?
Well, it's all online crap.
So basically you've got 8 hours of the actual stuff involving killing people and breaking their shit, and another 80 hours of how to use the correct pronoun for
probably.
Okay.
Well, I know, and this was back in the early 2010s. I would have to do mandated training once a year on SEER, even though I'd attended the actual SEER course,
right,
which didn't qualify for the training. I had to do it online.
That doesn't sound.
And it was an 8-hour online training course. The interesting part was that it was a mandated 8-hour training course that took 24 hours to complete because I still had to do a job. And the way they set the training course up, you couldn't skip through anything. So you had to sit there and let the entire scenario play.
Right.
And then you had to make your choices. And then you had to let it respond to your choices ad infinitum. Well, it would occasionally lock up. So
fancy that, a computer locking up.
you'd have to go back and repeat the entire portion of the module to catch up. Yeah, you had to be tortured for the whole session. And no, Ben, you were not allowed to test out of it. So I actually, we got in a politely put pissing contest in the office about how much time we were spending on administrative crap
On complete total bullshit.
and complete and total bullshit and not getting our actual job we were being paid for done. So I spent 2 weeks logging every day, every hour that I spent doing various things. And I turned in my report at the end of the 2 weeks. Yes, Rick, I was documenting everything. 40% of my at work time was spent doing administrative crap and training.
Surprised it was just 40%.
Well, so were a couple other people. And that went up the food chain, and people were going, well, that can't possibly be right. Excuse me, here's the documentation. Here are the requirements. Here's all the crap I got to do. Read it and weep.
This is all the stuff I got to do to get my actual job done.
Yeah. And of course, the 3-hour conference call / WebExes / all the other crap that went with it. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much message redacted, Dave. That was about, I had to be polite because there were women involved in the process of the review, but yeah, I was not happy. And the Navy had it even worse and still does, because like the Army and everybody else, they keep adding requirements to the training.
Right.
Where-
Requirements that don't actually have anything to do with your mission, which is
Right.
killing people and breaking their shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, David. Hey, it was real money to me, and I was glad to see it. Trust me. But it got to the point, and of course, they cut back on actual underway time. They cut back on actual flight hours. So when the crews did go out, rather than doing actual training for their wartime jobs, they were having to jump through training hoops to meet all these qualifications. So the battle group would deploy, and the first time anybody got to actually do training for their real ASW job or warfighter job was en route to wherever they were deploying. And we saw that, more than once.
In closing, let me stress.
Yeah, well, I didn't even get to the closing statement, Tom. Trust me. I got thrown out before that. Yeah, Rick, you're exactly right. And yeah, those, I've talked to a lot of people back in the day, and nobody ever saw anybody actually wearing those uniforms, the so-called test uniforms.
The hell was that?
Well, supposedly,
No, the bong.
I don't know.
For those of you asking why we don't have anything in the background, John is not here.
Yeah.
John is busy helping somebody achieve a certain normalcy vis-a-vis state driving requirements. So she is not currently here, and thus we do not have anything to put up behind us.
Love it, Tom. Hope your mother developed an allergy to Nebraska causes them to lose their employment.
Tom's had to deal with the military before.
Okay. That's a couple of hours worth of rant, Rick, but just to what's the easiest way to say this? Okay.
Navy
Your
was
mama's llama.
No.
The military requires you to meet certain qualifications. The Navy specific. I'll go with Navy specific. To do your job as a ship, you have to meet a number of different qualifications.
Right?
Engineering, damage control, weapons.
The important things
Yeah.
around keeping the thing afloat and fighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
and your primary job, be it ASW, anti-surface warfare, ASUW, carrier battle group deployment, etc. Those are fairly lengthy cycles to get that training. And when you cut your shipboard underway time in half, now when you go out, rather than running the safety drills you need to run to get your crew training up, you're running all these other specific drills respective to a particular qualification for that underway period. So you're not getting any of your actual training done. Coffee steam machine repair. Actually, that was part of it. Yeah. And Rick makes a great point. You train first, then you drill, then you do. You can't shortcut that and still operate the ship safely. The problem was with a 50% cut in underway time, you got to train,
You have 50% cut and everything else too.
which you never got to drill and you never got to do until you went over the hill on deployment. And that was the first time you did a lot of the drill and then do. The problem with
Seems
doing,
suboptimal.
hey, Jen,
Hey, Jen.
the other thing is the drills are shipwide. So when you start doing drills, be it a ship, a submarine, anything else, you're involving the entire crew, even the ones that are supposedly off duty. So then it becomes okay, I can do a drill every other day that is a shipwide drill. So I've got 11 days of transit, so I can do half that number of drills. I can do 6 or 7 drills underway.
Okay.
But I've still got to do the ASW package or the ASUW package or whatever else,
Okay.
plus maneuver in the battle group. And that gets, yeah, that gets a number of different issues, including officers in a pissing contest that didn't talk to each other.
Refused to talk to each other because they figured it was junior high mean girls or something.
Yeah. And you get a ship in an accident. Optimal for the opposing submarines, yes, that's pretty
Which
much.
Pacific Fleet seems to be having more than their fair share of accidents these days.
Yeah. Well, without getting into detail, I know of one accident involving a Chinese submarine that happened because of a $4 bulb that could not be replaced for 3 months, which caused a ship to basically run over a submarine.
Last I checked, bulbs were relatively easy to change. Like a 12-year-old could pretty much change a bulb.
That assumes that you have the bulb in the supply system somewhere.
Oh,
It had been out of stock for over a month. Yep, David, you probably did remember reading about that accident. It was actually caused by a bulb being burnt out. Ah, yes. Exo's happy hour. Yes. Mandatory cleaning.
I remember about a year, 2 years ago, seeing a picture of some floating gray thing.
Yeah.
I think somebody said it was a destroyer, but don't quote me on that. That was covered in rust, and the amount of Navy people on and Coast Guard coasties. I have friends with a lot of coasties for some reason. A number of Navy folks on my Facebook that lost their poo over the amount of rust on that ship was amazing.
Yep. And that's part of it. That's another part of it. That's the deck force's job, is to maintain the ship. And when you don't have time to do it, it doesn't get done. The ship looks like shit.
Some floating gray thing. Well, it's more of a gray-red thing. Like
Yeah.
I said, there was a crap ton of rust on that. And the retired Navy folks and retired Coast Guard folks on my feed lost their poo.
Yeah, because that's indicative of the condition of the rest of the ship.
Yep.
So anyway, enough on that rant. But yeah, we're sucking hind tit in the military. And the other interesting part is the amount of stuff that's being sent to Ukraine of high-end tactical weapons. We're into the war reserve. And
we've been into the war reserve on oil for a lot longer than that.
Yeah, but oil is recoverable. The
Hello.
lack of weapons is not,
Mm.
especially if we get into a situation where we need them. Yeah, ALS, you're exactly right. Deployments without any time to fix anything in a water line. Yeah. Yeah, the welcome to 1973 tank parts.
Apparently, the Russians are getting the 1952 tank parts.
Yeah. Yay, more space cowboys.
Yeah, sweet.
I've already got my story in.
He does. He's efficient that way.
Yeah, ALS. That was the other thing. Op tempo, pers tempo. That was the buzzword in the, at least in the Navy. Although the Air Force, apparently anything over 6 weeks was considered too long a deployment. Yes.
Wow.
I had a bull colonel that I had known in a previous life that I ran into overseas who was bitching one night over drinks that the longest he could keep the kids out was 6 weeks because they were stressing.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
people obviously don't understand how stressful, well, combat is.
Yeah.
And if you're stressed out by 6 weeks of not being shot at, how are you going to do 6 weeks of getting shot at?
Yeah.
You're going to suck.
You're going to run home to mama.
No, you're gonna lock, freeze, lock up, and get your entire platoon killed.
Yeah.
Idiots. Idiots.
Yeah, Rick. Yes. Yeah, that was fun. Give them a pacifier and a binky each. That's already issue for the Air Force.
I like Tom looks at calendar from 1992 to 1997, starts laughing maniacally on the way to the liquor cabinet. Boy,
Yeah.
ain't that the truth?
Well, our best one / worst one was 179-day deployment in 76. We were back for 12 hours, went out for another 30 days.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. If you're in the Navy, you get these little side detachments
TDYs.
while you're home, supposedly in the home cycle. Oh, go over here for a month. Go there for a month.
Yeah.
Go here for 3 months.
Ooh, State Department needs to borrow you for
Yeah.
no more than 30 days.
Yeah.
7 months later, hey, when am I coming home?
Yeah. Maintainer's toolbox and a rubber chicken. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you do give them woobies, Tom, but that's the Army.
I have lost so many whoobies. You speak Bantu, don't you? It's sort of like Russian. That's not a joke. That's not a friggin' joke. Hey, Italian's a Slavic language, right? No.
Oh.
When you coming home? New phone. Who dis? That's not a lie.
Yeah. Yeah. Civvy side, 3-month detail. Oh, your manager lied. You're actually there for a year. Senor.
Oh my God. People just don't understand. I mean, seriously, do not understand the way I don't know about the rest of the military. Army used to be back in the bad old days of the Cold War. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Freeman, 6 months TDY is back for a day and out for another 6 months. So you were technically home, so they didn't have to pay you the extra money that they would have had to pay if you'd gone 181 days.
Or you wind up, with state needs to borrow you for a couple of weeks. You'll be back no more than a month. Okay, but I've got required stuff to do in this next training cycle. Don't worry about it. You'll be back in a month.
Yeah.
7 months later, hey, you haven't got your required number of jumps.
I'm still on deployment.
Yeah, I've got my retired number. You're about to lose jump pay because you haven't had your required number of jumps. Motherfuckers.
Yeah, Heinlein did get it right in Glory Road on the detailing sections. Oh God, the fairy godmother detailer. Yes. And I think that's every military service has got the fairy godmother detailer.
David says language. Yeah, there's about 4 of them in the comments there.
Yeah. I don't think we ever got P&G because they never knew we were there till after we left.
No comment. No comment.
There are some places I'm just not allowed to go anymore. Oh.
Just
Yeah, Ben. Yeah, going away parties, yes.
Tom knows the pain. You do a PT test. What?
I don't care if you're in Russia and it's 30 below.
Yeah.
I'll get it done. I know there has to be somebody who knows how to do it. Yeah. Hey, Doug.
And don't pencil whip it. What?
Yeah. Yeah, Rick. I'm not talking about the states we can't go back to. Although there's might be 1 or 2 of them.
Oh well.
Yeah, unpaid parking tickets. Yeah. Yeah, you show up at the state, they go, yeah, and you're in cuffs, and that'd be $4,362. What do you mean?
And then we're gonna add interest.
Yeah. Oh, not that I've ever known people to do that.
Well, not P&G.
Well, Rick, you guys were kind of in and out in a hurry, in more ways than one.
For those of you that don't speak in the State Department, P&G is persona non grata.
Yeah.
Means you're not allowed back.
Yeah.
You are not recognized as, you aren't safe anymore.
As
So
if you were safe to start with.
If you get pinged, you don't go back there because you done annoyed somebody and the State Department won't help you anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And the embassy will look at you and go, yeah, no, you're not here.
Embassy will go, why the hell are you here?
Yeah.
Because I've got orders. You're not allowed here.
Yes, Sarah, you overstayed your welcome is right.
Oh, is that what y'all had?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. You've overstayed your welcome. It's not.
I would have loved to go back to Hong Kong because there were some good tailors there, but not now.
Never, ever, ever, ever worked Pacific AO, and I never intend to go back.
Pacific was fun.
I don't know. I wouldn't know. If I want good tailors, I'll go to London or Rome.
Yeah, the Jumbo did
Istanbul.
sink. They were towing it to get maintenance done on it. For those of you that, and again, this is a inside joke, basically. There was a fantastic restaurant in Hong Kong Harbor called the Jumbo. And it was a multi-level floating restaurant. And it was good. And it was relatively inexpensive. And it was safe for the sailors to go to. Unlike some other places over there.
Ringo's mom got kicked out of the U.S. Army and pinged? Wow.
Damn.
I need to meet that woman.
She passed away, but I do remember John mentioning something about that. Apparently his mom was something else, which might have just explained why that acorn didn't fall real far from the tree.
Wanted to bet his mom and my parents probably crossed paths at least once.
Yeah, Tom, there were places in Hong Kong it was safe to go and other places it wasn't. And of course, there were always people that wanted to go over to Macau and gamble, which was a gamble in more ways than one because you may or may not come back. It was in the afterword of Citadel. Yes.
The one I never read.
Huh?
I have never read that one.
It's actually good. Yep. The but there were excellent tailors in Hong Kong. There was the China Fleet Club, which was the Brit Club. Good hotels. Was always fun with the flight attendants in there, or stews back in the day, because most of them were
Fun.
fun, yes. And they were not the ones that you see today on the airplanes. Well, actually, they may have been just a generation earlier when they were young and cute, not old and grumpy.
I'm sitting here thinking, and I don't know if it says bad things about me or the countries, but there are some countries I need to check who's running it before I went back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that says about, well, anything.
Yeah, and then Flying Tiger. Flying Tiger was the one of the eponymous airlines that flew back in the day and had interesting ties to government and got a lot of contracts. Yeah. Yeah, tied up to it. Well, that's because you were a submarine. So you got stuck out in quarantine Anchorage, was out in the friggin' middle of nowhere with a water taxi a half hour to get there and back, which played hell with your 8-hour Liberty. Yeah, Bill, that's why I corrected myself. Some of those FAs today are the same girls who just expanded and got old and grumpy.
Pretty sure I remember some of us being young and grumpy.
Yeah. Yeah, full day Liberty, small ship, different rules. Yeah. So what we would do with being an air component is we'd get an admin in one of the hotels, and that's where everybody piled their crap. You know what has become, and this cracks me up. Everybody thinks, oh well, these cons invented these party suites. No, the Navy has been doing that since there was a Navy. Strangely enough, the Pink Palace in Hawaii, which is now the Sheraton, was the R&R hotel for the submarine force in World War II.
Pink Palace and R&R for Subforce sounds like it was actually the I&I for the submarine force.
Well, yes.
I&I being intoxication and intercourse.
Yep.
Which is what one of my command sergeant majors referred to R&R as.
Yeah.
If it wasn't I&I, you weren't doing it right.
Yeah. Hey, Evan, I apologize. There's a lot of people don't get notifications. Yeah. Well, the Halekoa didn't come until many years later. Halekoa, I remember when it was built, is actually on the old museum grounds in Pearl Harbor, or down from Pearl Harbor at Waikiki. And yeah, Down Periscope was a documentary. And maybe. Oh, differ. Walmart ordered a bunch of bananas, so we're out of bunches. So here are 2 bananas, the same plot. Oh, that sucks.
Walmart.
Yeah.
10 years ago, John came out with tears in his eyes saying it's a boy. We never went back to Thailand. That's not a joke.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny, but not a joke.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, sold 12 a.m.
Other than the military stuff, anything else going on?
Yeah. Well,
And the Nord Stream stuff.
Yeah.
Which, despite the fact I said earlier, my email and my DMs are lighting up, that's not proof of anything yet.
Yeah.
They're giving a lot of, so you were right. Not yet, I wasn't.
No.
Wouldn't matter if I was right or not either. Anyway,
$1.67 each for bananas. No.
What? For bananas?
That's what you got charged by Walmart on home delivery.
$1.67 for a banana? Are you insane?
Oh yeah, Raptor. That's the latest one. Oh, I forgot all about that one because that was the Army
Inventing arrest records for citizens and never got arrested. What the hell? What?
Yeah. when they were doing the referrals and you got paid for referring people
Right.
who went in the military.
Okay.
Remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah. Well, now they're going back and saying most of that was faked. That the people weren't actually going out and interviewing these people. They were stealing documents and just referring them and getting paid for it. So the Army did this huge investigation, and CID put cases against everybody, which are now in NCIS
Oh, for bloody hell. And
as
CIC?
arrest records. Yes.
Oh, you've got to be kidding. That's a civil
Nope.
rights violation. I will. I
Yeah.
don't care. That's a civil rights violation right there.
Yep. Oh, he did, Evan. That's good.
Steve, who's Steve Leto?
Like he's one of the podcasters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dollar
Yeah,
six-
Kermit, $1.67. That banana is your lunch.
No kidding.
Yeah.
When we were in Nigeria, we got we had banana trees out back.
Yeah.
And the bananas we got off those trees when they were good were fantastic. And then we came here.
Yeah.
And I looked at the size of the bananas in the supermarkets here and thought, oh, I have stumbled upon the promised land. And I didn't because I thought, the bananas in Nigeria are about that big, and the ones here are like that. And I thought, this is going to be a hell of a banana. Not so much. Bananas here I like bananas, I really do. But the ones here don't have near the taste of the ones from West Africa.
Well, there's also a difference. The ones here are all GMO'd.
Well, they're all clones.
Yeah, they're clones. And there's some kind of problem with them. And there are no other versions of that clone out there. So the potential is bananas, as we know them in the U.S., will cease to exist.
Don't quote me on this, but I believe the bananas that everybody originally got in the U.S. got used to eating were called Gros Michel, and they were a clone.
Yeah.
In South America, and then a root fungus came by and whacked it because it was a clone. Every one of them had the same. It was just wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, the entire banana industry went paws up, and so they did the same thing. Realizing it was a mistake the first time, they cloned the Cavendish. And everybody's been eating Cavendish for, at least in America, for God knows how long. And now that same root fungus is taking on the Cavendish. And we're having the same issues that we did with the Gros Michel.
Yeah. They'll be wiped out. And I don't think there's anything left for them to clone. Yeah, Cavendish are sterile. Yes. Free range grass fed Nigerian bananas coming soon to Kroger.
Oh, they're good. The bananas here don't have near the punch of banana flavor the ones in West Africa do.
And David makes an excellent point. All the bananas available here are bred for stability for shipping.
Yeah.
Because they all come in on the banana boats.
Yes, they do.
Along with the snakes and everything else that's in that hole.
Banana spiders.
Yeah. Yeah, Sean, agriculture monocultures can be a problem, and we're seeing that more and more.
Well, it's not necessarily can be. It's going to be a problem sooner or later.
Yeah.
And near as I can tell, all the big corporations are hoping it's the kids or the grandkids' problem, not theirs.
Evan, you ain't right. You want to try a Twinkie with the original banana cream filling?
Oh.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, Bridget L.B. Johnson put up a recipe for homemade ding dongs today on Facebook.
Oh, goodness.
And I know the lady, and I'm going to tell you, if you want to try a damn good ding dong, follow her recipe and make them.
That's the chocolate cream filled thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of.
It's chocolate, but it's cream filled.
Not a big fan of the stored ding dongs.
Well, these I'm going to guarantee you are good because you can add rum.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corn dogs are meat Twinkies, not a lie.
Yeah. Yeah. Southeast Asian fried bananas. Yes.
Plantains.
Yeah. Plantains. That was always a good dessert.
We had plantains in Africa. They were red plantains in Africa too, and not sweet at all.
Yeah. Kermit,
Until you
the
fried them.
original Twinkie flavor was not bananas. It was an add-on. There was a cream filling. As a matter of fact, I think I still have one from the 1960s floating around somewhere.
Probably still good.
Still in the package.
It's a
Yes.
Twinkie. It's a Twinkie.
Yeah. You know, some of the stuff that Twinkies are banana flavored. Yes, Cedar, at one point there was a version of a Twinkie that had banana flavoring.
The hell is a wild corn dog?
That's one that got away from the package.
Okay. Corn dogs are corn dogs. Corn dogs properly done.
What's that company down in Dallas that made them for years?
You had to ask.
I just drew a blank on it. They made a fortune at the Texas State Fair
Yes,
with corn dogs,
corn dogs.
and they ship them all over the world now.
Mhm.
And the family is apparently in a pissing contest over who controls it.
Because there's a lot of money in corn dogs, especially good ones.
Yeah.
Fletcher's?
Yes, Fletcher's. Thank you,
What
Bill.
wasn't the one I was thinking? That doesn't ring a bell.
Yep, the Fletchers. Oh, that's right. It is Kelly's birthday today.
Yes. It's Kelly's birthday and Rich Groller's birthday and somebody, I think it's Brendan Hankins' birthday.
Brendan Hankins, yeah. He's fidgeting with his pen. And has been for a half an hour.
Fuck.
He's only taken it apart and put it back together 5 or 6 times so far. Yeah, Sean, that would be slightly different when you end up with corn dogs and expecting hush puppies. Yeah. Yeah, it's a space pen ALS.
That's just one you gave me.
Yep.
The vampire. Yes. For those of you who don't know about the vampire system, apparently some mad lads in, I believe, Texas, decided that there was a niche that needed to be filled.
Oh, here we go.
And they designed a 4-pod rocket system using 70 millimeter unguided rockets.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That can be retrofitted to a pickup truck, a Hilux, by 2 guys in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it comes with 4 rockets, the laser rangefinder, and laser designator, and everything to go in the cab.
Yeah.
And they call it Vampire System. It's an acronym for something. And they're planning on they're going to make a mint. They're going to make a mint.
I'm not sure I would be wanting to park that thing and use the laser designator in the cab, though.
From the cab, probably not.
I'd rather have somebody else do the laser designating.
Well, when you're
Because that means I'm too goddamn close to whatever I'm shooting.
Well, it's a 70 millimeter. It's not that much range to it.
I know, but still.
And it's basically it's made for Ukraine.
Yeah, the fat electrician figures.
Yeah,
would have a good video.
He does. That's where I saw it. It's like these mad lads are going to be rolling in cash.
Yeah.
You always hire out laser designation. Means vertical. I want a cool acronym. Vehicle agnostic, modular, palletized, ISR rocket. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And apparently, there's an upgrade for the 7 millimeter rocket that makes it a sniper rather than a ripple fire.
Yeah.
And it's got it'll home in on a laser spot. And these are 20,000 a shot.
Yeah.
Whereas the javelins are
2,000 shot.
2,000 or 20,000?
I think it's 2,000.
Could be. But the javelins are $250,000 a shot.
Yeah.
So there you go. Why can't we have it? Okay, I'm gonna say it again slowly for those in the back. Some mad lads in Texas.
Yeah. David, why can't we have those here?
some old boys in Texas put them together. So
Yeah, there might be one or two running around Texas right now.
no kidding. And if Texas ever goes independent, there'll probably be one parked in my driveway.
Yeah. Yeah, Texas or Florida. Yeah, especially since the DC Attorney General has decided to uh, investigate all the GOP governors in the South now.
Run that by me again?
The Attorney General in DC has decided to investigate all the Attorney General, the Southern governors.
That's not his purview.
I know that, you know that, but he's going to do it anyway because the way we're treating migrants, we're lying to the migrants to get them to go north.
No shit. And
They're signing paperwork that says where they're going to.
Yeah.
In their language.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Lying to, it's a settled court case. If you're in the government, you're allowed to lie to criminals. And I hate to break the news to Frank, but if you're in this country unlawfully, you're a criminal. We're allowed to lie to you. It's
Yeah.
court precedent.
Yeah. Yeah, Raytheon's having to restart their rocket line. Yes, that is true. Kermit, we'll get to you all about the time Idaho gets gets Eastern Oregon.
Like Eastern Washington, Oregon.
Well, they've got two more counties in Oregon that have it on the ballot for next month.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that makes
That's
something
gotta
like
hurt. That's gotta
13 or
hurt.
14 counties. And apparently Idaho is actually going to start talks with Oregon
Get her done.
about yeah, anything to get away from Portland. Yes. ALS, I am not sure. I saw it, but I don't remember which two counties it is. But they are part of the mid to eastern section of Oregon. And you know, it's and I want to see California do Jefferson. That
You know what? You know why they'll fight that tooth and nail,
oh yeah, money,
and not just money, but it'll give the conservatives.
more seats,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many more seats?
at least 3.
So say Jefferson will never happen.
Yeah.
'Cause- Oh. There is some bimbet here in Texas running for our area, our district.
Yeah.
In the federal House of Reps, and she's running Kathleen Brown.
Yeah.
I was driving to work yesterday and saw this very red, and around here traditionally Republicans use red, very red yard sign, political yard sign, and it said Kathleen Brown, people over party. And I thought that's an odd.
Yeah.
That's kind of odd. That's an odd way of putting that. And it looks for all the world like a Republican yard sign.
Yeah, except it's not.
So I got on my phone and started checking. And when you go to her website, very carefully has no party affiliation.
Yep.
Very carefully, no party affiliation. However, you look her up on Facebook. Holy gods.
Yeah.
Oh, whoo.
And John is right. Her signs are always with the Beto signs.
Oh, yes. She's a big fan of Beto. And
Yeah.
she's not just left.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's wrapped around left.
Yeah, she's past left and still going.
Yeah.
But I find it interesting that for somebody who is described in some political hack newsletter as one of the rising stars of the Democratic Party, the fact her yard signs and her official website say nothing about the Democratic Party.
Yeah. Might be a hint.
I think the Democrats, the Democrat political advisors, do y'all have a plan for what happens after January 1? Because
No, Jonna says she's a radical progressive.
she makes radical progressives go, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dems seem to be going underground.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
because apparently being identified as a Democrat, I don't know this for certain, but I suspect being identified as a Democrat means your political career is toast right now.
Yep. Jonna says she's likely from Oregon. Saw her type all the time. If that's what you had to deal with, it's no wonder you left.
Um, it says that she's from her website says she's from Pasadena, but it doesn't say Pasadena, Texas, or Pasadena, California.
Yeah. Damn, Diffra, that's not going to be good if you've got a
Going to want you to wear a mask. Pretty much.
yeah. Yeah, pretty much expecting to steamroll if things go radically, mostly peaceful. Yes.
Radically, mostly peaceful. I
Yeah.
don't. There's a difference between the mostly peaceful on the Democratic side of the House and mostly peaceful on the Republican side of the House.
Yeah. Well, we know what war is. They don't. They like to play with the rheostat all the time.
Yeah.
And of course, none of their people are actually involved on the boots on the ground, whereas ours are.
The number of Antifa, the mostly peaceful arm of the Democratic Party, that actually tangle and get their asses handed to them and are shocked about it
Yeah.
is gratifying to my twisted little heart.
Oh, damn. The old UTSW in Dallas was masked up last week.
Yeah.
The hell? Didn't see that in the media.
UT Southwestern Hospital. Now, CDC sent out something to hospitals saying that they recommend that hospitals stay masked. And I'm not sure. I was talking to somebody, and they made it sound like you can go, you can not go, you can unmask if you want to, but you're going to be legally responsible for anything that happens.
What?
Yeah.
Where the hell are they coming up with that bullshit?
It's the CDC. It's the CDC. Who the hell knows?
Oh, they extended the COVID non-emergency for the next 90 days. Of course.
Just coincidentally past the election season.
Yeah, David, they don't want that switch flip, but they're at the point they are losing power, and they know it.
Well, the simple fact that the rising stars of the Democratic Party are hiding their party affiliation tells me they realize they're about to lose.
No, Brian, I've not seen that. Boston University Doctor creates.
Yes. Rita was losing her poo about that.
I did not see that one.
Yeah, it's in the lab. Talk about gain of function.
Yeah. Oh, you had to use their mask. That's even more interesting. Now the question is, were those masks from China?
I'll guarantee you they're from China.
Yeah.
Guarantee you they're from China.
Yeah.
It's time for some CDC bigwigs to be hanging from lampposts.
Yep.
Frank's going to have me arrested for that one, but that's the long and the short of it.
Starting with Fauci.
Duh.
Well, now he's backtracking, saying, "Oh, I never said anything about closing schools." Fucking lying cocksucker.
Goodness, thank gosh the internet, and the internet is forever.
Yeah, make hemp legal again. Hell, Raptor, all you got to do is go down the local railroad tracks, and you can find all the ditch weeds you want. Sackcloth hooded onesies.
The number,
handbell.
the number,
Richard.
The number of folks out there, and I would like to remind folks that Facebook memories are a thing. Also, I have a file marked screenshots.
Yep.
The number of people on Facebook that are, well, I was always suspicious of the government. Bitch, no, you weren't. I have screenshots. Yeah. I've got memories.
Yeah.
You call me a plague rat.
Yep.
And by bitch, I don't mean female of the species. This was a guy,
Yeah.
female of the species.
Was he outed or not outed?
Well, it's some according to him, ex fan of Law Dog because I thought you were more rational than this, but you don't know me very well, do you?
Yeah,
Just-
the screenshotting CDC is always interesting. Yes, technically Fauci is
I
NIH,
don't
but
I don't care.
that at the top they're
Doesn't make a
tied
difference.
it to him.
Doesn't make a difference. But no, this schmuck. I mean, woo! 2 years ago was all over me about, you need to use your fame to steer this discourse in a rational direction. You should be masking up. And you need to tell everybody to mask up. They'll listen to you and all this bullshit. And then 2 weeks ago, I saw it. Same idiot name. I was always suspicious. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You were. Because this guy got all sorts of case of hips because I wasn't falling in line and started off my blog when I wound up having to shut down the comments on those 2 articles I did on COVID. That ought to get us shut down.
Yeah.
Anyway, I shut off the comments, and he was one of the reasons I had to close comments because he decided to get a case of the red ass at me, which was a friggin' mistake, and then followed me to Facebook. Somebody told me I was on Facebook, which annoys the piss out of me. Anyway, so this Yahoo popped up, in my feed about I was always suspicious of the hell you were. Bullshit. Screenshots. Boop.
Yeah. I threw up a post today on Instagram and a few other places with a prediction from John Hassan. Says GOP wins the midterms. After approximately 2 months, economists will finally declare a recession. White House will then blame the recession on the GOP.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's what's going to happen.
No reason not to vote for conservatives.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I trust the GOP to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory every damn time.
Yeah.
So they'll screw it up.
Yeah, but hopefully we will snatch enough victories from the jaws of defeat to take control,
Yeah.
at least for now.
I'm going through my screenshots. There are a whole bunch of people. Screenshot. Boop. Didn't you say this? Boop.
Yeah. And of course they'll lie. They always do.
Well, this is your average Karen on Facebook.
Yeah.
The number of Karens, I never fell for that.
Yeah.
Really? I need to find that idiot woman that tried to spray me with a pink spray bottle at United parking lot that one time.
Yeah. Yeah, the sweating sickness, yeah.
I'm not scared of COVID.
I've had it enough times, yeah.
It's the stuff I've had.
Yeah, Bill. Us old farts remember that Fauci's been around for a long time, and this is now the second epidemic he's fucked up.
Screwed up the AIDS epidemic.
Yep.
And the thing is I hate the 15-second memory span of the average American.
Yep.
Because Fauci's recommendations for AIDS patients were damn near exactly what he recommended for COVID.
Yep. And he killed a bunch of people
Yep.
with AIDS. But now swears, oh, that wasn't me. I didn't make those recommendations. Yeah, right. Pandemic of the prickly heat. We're getting out of the prickly heat season.
No kidding. It was 40-something degrees when I let the dogs out this morning.
37 this morning when I woke up.
Oof. I'm wearing long pants, for God's sake.
Yeah, David's got a good point. It's not enough to beat the range of votes. We need to beat the range of voters, including the ones that have been dead and voting Democrat for the last 30 years. And apparently Florida has started enforcement on the voting fraud and started arresting people,
Good.
that they've gotten tracked back to 2020. And apparently all these people are being arrested now and going, well, I didn't do anything. They were felons. They were voting and got caught.
No. Understand, folks, there has been voting fraud
Since
since
there's been voting.
since the very first American election. There's been voting fraud. It's people are people, they're bastards. There's been voting fraud. So don't, anybody who thinks that the American election cycles have been pristine, I hate to break the news to you.
Yeah.
There's always fraud.
Raptor hit it dead on the money. Pennsylvania, they have Supreme Court said that Pennsylvania's laws were incorrect. That they couldn't. It has to be a verified vote,
Ooh.
Signed, dated, everything else.
Goodness.
And the Pennsylvania, I think it was it the AG or somebody else, director of voting, Raptor, that said, "Oh well, we don't care what the court says. We're going to do it the way we want. And we're going to count all the votes."
See how that works out for them.
Yeah.
But the Florida folks have started enforcing their voting laws
Yeah.
against voter fraud. I've seen courthouses in Florida. I'm pretty sure there's trees or
Yeah.
lampposts around the courthouse. I'm fairly sure there's at least lampposts.
Yeah. Well, that one that they arrested down in Austin and charged and convicted.
And Houston.
Yeah. And both of them were Democratic operatives.
No.
Yeah.
In Houston
Yeah.
and Austin, Democratic operatives. Inconceivable.
Yeah. Yeah. Portland and Eugene is the insane axis that controls Oregon. Yes. Do not get Jonna started on that because she'll be wound up for the entire day.
Raptor, palm trees, and there's lampposts.
Yeah. Palm trees suck for trying to hang somebody from them. The palm fronds just break off.
Yeah, but there's lampposts.
Yeah. Leave no lamppost undecorated. Yes.
If there's a couple of vote fraudsters wind up doing a hard time or getting strung up, that shit'll stop. Because the folks that commit fraud in elections don't have that good of a spine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Ben, they could either play tetherball or they could play highlight with the heads. Actually, I want to say that's where highlight came from.
The great thing about pine tree or palm trees is you can bend them over.
Yeah.
And then when you bend them over, you tie a rope to the tall end and put a noose in it. And then when the noose is in the appropriate location, you let it go back and
Intestines are free. Yeah, but that makes it too easy.
think about gators. Gators is fun to think about, but it doesn't give the proper visual unless you have a GoPro or a drone watching it.
Yeah.
If you're going in to vote and you've got somebody hanging from the nearest palm tree with vote fraud on a placard around his neck.
Yeah, Wile E. Coyote. Did you ever notice how he never got off the road?
There was rules. There
were rules.
Rules about.
Or, I'm sorry, the Roadrunner never got off the road.
Yeah, there were rules about the what could not be done in the Wile E. Coyote comics.
Yeah, that was interesting to read.
Yep,
that goes back many years.
And was rules like that. Something happened. Rules like that are why those cartoons were good.
Yeah.
Peter Pan traumatized me as a kid.
Yeah.
I grew up in West Africa. I came pre-traumatized.
Apparently, we're going to do mirrors for supper on Saturday.
John,
road trip.
John,
Ah, John, you got it. Good.
outstanding. Good.
Yeah, Kermit Roadrunners do fly though, but in the cartoon he was never allowed to fly.
Nope. Couldn't fly. Well, and technically, roadrunners are not as fast as coyotes.
Yeah.
If you want to, if you want to be technical about it.
Yeah, the time that Bugs Bunny filled in for Roadrunner because the Roadrunner called in sick. I've heard of that. I've never actually seen that cartoon.
I don't know if I've seen it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, free time. Yeah, David, 70s in New York City had to have been interesting. What?
70s in West Africa.
70s Vietnam was not fun either.
Well, no.
Yeah, and there are versions of interesting, yes.
Remembering that Biafra was still going on, I don't care what the textbooks say. And the unofficial national sport of Nigeria was regime change.
Yeah, that Merry Melody's theme song, yes.
That's all, folks.
Yeah.
It's
70s
making noise at me.
Yeah, 70s in North Dakota, nothing traumatizing other than the frickin' cold up there. Jesus.
Cold traumatizes me.
Yeah.
Soccer. The official sport of Nigeria is soccer.
Yeah. And the question was whether or not they used heads.
On the advice of my attorney, I cannot comment on that.
Yeah, who was it? Who was it that said, "Oh, the Americas ought to go back to the time when the Aztecs were in control"?
Sure.
Yeah. So
250,000 people a year with their hearts cut out on a temple.
Yeah.
Yay.
And virgins sacrificed to the gods.
Kids.
And kids sacrificed to the gods.
250,000 people sacrificed a year. Let's go back to the Aztecs.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to sign up for that?
Idiots.
Of course, they'd have a hell of a time finding virgins these days.
Idiots. That's a point.
Yeah. Yeah, Sarah, moving from Texas to California, that had to be interesting.
Mildly traumatizing. Damn.
Yeah. So, funny how the native population still love and revere Christopher Columbus. Yep.
Like you asked the villagers in Nigeria about British colonial rule, and to a man when we were there, it's like we need it back.
Yeah. Yeah, Sean, 250,000 bureaucrats would be a good plan.
Good start.
Yeah.
When you realize there's no actual physical way to whack enough bureaucrats in Washington in a 6-month period, there'd still be some needing whacking after 6 months, tells you there's way too many politicians and bureaucrats there.
Yeah, drain the swamp.
With dynamite.
Well, so Virginia does not want any land back. They've already said
I'm
that.
not sure that I think what's there is was all ex-Maryland.
Yeah, it is.
And that's if y'all are stupid enough to vote me into the Oval Office or a supreme dictator,
okay,
the Washington, D.C. will consist of the grounds of the White House, the grounds of the Capitol, and the grounds of the Supreme Court and the National Mall. The direct roadways connecting all 3 of those or 4 of those will be the only grounds. Everything else given back to Maryland.
Yep. So they can enjoy paying Maryland taxes.
There's no reason why DC needs to be anything more than the White House, the Capitol, the Supreme Court, and the National Mall. There's no reason it needs to be anything else.
Yep. Yeah, Guy Fawkes taught us the importance of timing. And on that note, we're out of time.
We are. 32 people, 15 likes. We're doing good.
Yeah.
15 likes, really? Out of 32 people, 33 people, 15 likes. Really?
And 9 left through your pen.
I don't like y'all.
Start a write-in campaign for you.
No, it wouldn't do any good because I'd actually do what's required by the Constitution rather than what they do these days.
All right, folks. Remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Be safe, guys.
Be safe, and we'll see you on Thursday. Bye-bye.